problem this year is to begin against plus 500 teams. They're 13 and 17 and playing at home. It's inexcusable to have such a great road record and not back it up with a good home record.
And Mo Williams will walk it across. And Jamison back in the lineup after missing Friday night. He hurt his knee earlier in the week. Only missed the one game. James missed a couple with an ankle injury. Nice pass. Jamison banks it in. And already LeBron James with his first assist.
What you love to see, moving without the basketball, puts so much pressure on the defense at that time, making a play for him.
James loves to set up his teammates in the first quarter. He's third in the NBA in assists in the opening period, almost 3.5 per first quarter. Garnett, nice fake, draws the foul. Shot won't go. And he will go to the free throw line.
And I like that, Coach. You have a matchup of Garnett on the block being defended by Jamison. Take advantage of it. Get the ball to him early. Trust he's going to make a play. The patience, get everybody out of my way. Get Jamison in the air and go into the line.
All right, now you guys have seen the Celtics all season long. We've seen losses at home to the Nets. We've seen 20-point losses at home to Memphis. Then they go and they win in Orlando. They win in Cleveland. They win in LA against the Lakers. Very up and down. What's the biggest problem that they've had? Granted, they still have a good record, but what's the problem?
Well, to me, you can be satisfied as a team with your record, but you can't be satisfied with the inconsistency as far as the energy level, the level of play, the passion, those type of things. When you begin to say, hey, we'll wait until the playoffs, there's a danger involved because you get into habits of not being ready on a nightly basis, and that can come back to bite you.
Williams jump shot short. Long rebound comes out. Pierce had it. And able to hold on, looking to get it to a teammate. Rondo does a good job finding him.
Well, for me, for the Celtics, it's, you know, their inexplicable home record, not being ready at home as Rondo lays it in. But it's also, some of it is just, that's how the NBA is. You get a little bit older, you get a little bit less energetic, the competition continues to improve, and then on top of that, Mike, you're injured. You know, Pierce has been out. So too has Garnett. I mean, they've taken a lot of big-time injuries.
Garnett's missed 11 games, Pierce 7. When the big three, Garnett, Pierce, and Allen play, they're very difficult to beat as Hickson is fouled. They're actually 32 and 12 when all big three play in games. Now, when one of them's out, they're under 500. Hickson will go to the free throw line. Hickson has done an excellent job. And there's where Mike Brown, the depth on this team is terrific. Obviously, Ilgauskas gets traded. Shaquille O'Neal with the broken thumb and surgery. Hickson put in as the starting center. And he gives them a bit of a different look.
Well, he's much improved this year. You'd have to say that he's one of the most improved players in the league. He knows how to play with LeBron James, how to use his quickness, his strength, his agility to get to open areas and finish plays around the basket.
And he gets to play against his favorite NBA player, Kevin Garnett. He's been a huge Garnett fan. Hickson's only 21, his second year out of NC State.
I like his mindset. It's not like, hey, I'm playing against KG, I'm going through the motions. His mindset is I'm going after him, and we could talk about how much I appreciate him afterwards.
Perkins misses, and Jamison the rebound. By the way, Shaquille O'Neal, his surgery was to repair ligament damage, not a broken thumb. As Hickson banks it in. And they look for Hickson early. Keeps a good high percentage from down low. And the Cavs lead by 2. Rondo fell down. He was out of bounds. Celtics do turn the ball over quite a bit. They're 26th in the NBA in turnovers. Williams gets inside. Quick move won't go. James right there on the follow. Pierce tips it. Hickson keeps it alive. James with his strength pulls it down. And the Cavs will reset. Jamison for 3. He has fit in rather nicely with this team, Mark.
Well, he certainly has, but allow me to acknowledge the passing ability of LeBron James his first 3 minutes so far. He has made outstanding plays via pick and roll, threading the needle. It's a thing of beauty watching this guy play.
He's got 3 assists in 3.5 minutes.
And he makes guys around him better. Tough plays, he's patient, and then threads the needle like a big-time quarterback. Cavs on a 7-0 run.
Few of those in his closet, and he's off to a strong start today.
And he's doing it with the pass, driving, seeing Garnett come over to help, drops it off to Jamison, then a simple duck in to Hickson, and then one of the few players in the game who can make the hook pass going across his body. Just an incredible amount of ability to see the floor, and you see it right there. This is Oscar Robertson-like. 32 points, over 10 assists, and Oscar just did that for a whole year.
Just incredible numbers, and again, the unselfishness. You start talking now about one of the best passing forwards in the history of the game.
No, to me, he's the best passing non-point guard that's ever played this game. When you take a look at his vision, his ability to make those type of plays, and we're going to see that for a long time to come.
Perkins gets in close, and he took an extra step.
And those type of arguments, it used to be Larry Bird, I would say. But I could say this about James. Forget the point guard. This is Magic Johnson. There's no difference. He may be the all-time greatest passer.
Allen tips it to Perkins.
No, I'm not going to go there. He's an outstanding passer, but there's a 6'9" guy in Magic Johnson that I'm not going to go there.
I'm going there. I'm saying that I'm open to the possibility, and I know this is young in his career.
Offensive foul on Hickson.
This guy could go down as the greatest player to ever play.
I'm not going to argue with that, but you're out of line with that passing stuff about that. No, you're out of line. I'm going to come back to me, Coach.
How about this? How about if he says, you know what, I'm not interested in scoring 30, I'm just going to score about 15 a game. He could easily average 15 assists a game.
If I was the coach and he said that, I'd resign. You need it all, and that's what's different about it. The guy can average 30 while playing unselfishly.
And a moving screen called on Kevin Garnett. So Garnett picks up his first.
Yeah, but I totally agree, because people thought I was crazy to say that this guy will end up #2 all-time in assists. His body of work is going to be something that we haven't seen so far in our lifetime on this level.
And his body, not just his body of work, but his body doing this type of stuff. The energy, the speed, the quickness, the vision.
And now technical fouls handed out as Hickson and Garnett jawing at each other.
He just did that to his idol. He pointed in his idol's face. I like that.
Garnett is not one to care about who thinks he's a wonderful player. Garnett talks as much as anybody in the league. Likes to get in the guy's skin, likes to get in their head. Didn't see how this one started, but I think we're going to have double technicals.
Also on Celtics number 43, Kendrick Perkins.
The personal foul's on Kendrick Perkins. There's a little shove from Garnett.
Celtics number 5, Kevin Garnett. The Cavaliers number 21,
So double technicals on both of them.
I love that call. Love that call.
That's his guy. His guy getting involved.
Well, I like that. Exactly what we talked about. I can appreciate you, respect you, but I'm going after you.
Try to go after him then. Garnett, excellent defense. And Pierce pulls it back. Ray Allen looking to post up Mo Williams. Quick turn. Shot's good from Allen. And it's 9-6 count.
When Ray Allen is involved, they're a harder team to guard.
Allen, by the way, this year is shooting 55% from two-point range. Of course, known as a three-point shooter. One of the league leaders in attempts. Williams, that's a three. Won't go. That's second in the NBA in three-point percentage. Perkins to Garnett. Good open look for Garnett. And Perkins and Jamison pushing and shoving. This one's physical early. Surprise, surprise.
It's a good job by the Celtics pushing the ball off a missed shot, getting easy baskets in transition.
All right, well, as we talk about these teams and their success last couple of years, Jamison was out of bounds when he caught it. It's all about their defense. Where is their defense now in terms of getting ready to go for a championship? Jeff, let's start with you in Cleveland.
Well, I think they've got a championship level defense. I think both teams do. And I think all the teams that are really playing for it all, they have to play championship level defense. They may not have the lateral quickness in some positions at the guard level, but their team scheme makes them a championship level defensive team.
Pierce hits the side of the backboard. Ball deflected out of bounds by Rondo. All right, Mark, what about the Celtics?
Well, I agree with Coach as far as the Cavs defensively. I think the Celtics, they've dropped a little bit from the Celtic team that we watch win it all and dominate really on the defensive end. I don't see them in sync the same way, paying attention to detail. Now, that's still a very good defensive team, but there was a point where it was an absolute thing of beauty and a clinic the way that they performed on the defensive end night in and night out.
James tried to jam it in there, deflected, and a turnover. Number 2 for Cleveland. Check out number 3. Rondo to Pierce. Garnett. Bank shot, rolls around, and drops in. Celtics have regained the lead. See Garnett wearing that sleeve and a little brace on that right knee. That's the one he had the surgery on. Jamison backdoor, can't finish. Hickson tips it up, and it goes over the backboard.
You could tell one of the things that the Celtics really came in looking to do is post Kevin Garnett. A good job of getting the ball in solid position, fighting before the catch. Patient, he gets it, and then a big-time move.
Garnett had the surgery back in May. Last year played just 57 games. First real serious injury of his career. Knocks down the shot. Doc Rivers' confidence is slowly but surely he's getting back there yet. He's getting back to perhaps not the level he was when they won the title, but good enough to make a run this year. That's certainly what the Celtic fans hope for. Anthony Parker. Parker, one of the leaders in three-point percentage, 4th in the NBA.
And part of the problem defensively, you're rotating the shooters across the board, so it's got to be a full rotation, and the little late and pay the price with Parker in the corner.
Allen looking for Garnett. Parker on him. Good defense by Cleveland. Pierce has 6 on the shot clock. James on him. Pierce on the drive. Oh, blocked. Celtics wanted the goaltend. I don't think it was. I think he got it before. Parker inside. Jamison flips it up. Won't go. Rebound tipped. Still knocked loose. And Mo Williams with the hustle play. Williams dishes to Hickson. Bangs it in. Great hustle from the Cavaliers. Pierce and James, remember a couple of years ago, their battle in the playoffs when they guarded each other much of the way. Perkins lays it up and in. And we're tied again at 14. And James has only taken 1 shot, doesn't have a point yet. Doing more distributing early. Parker, pass inside to Hickson. Reverse, gets it to go again. Hickson with 7 first quarter points.
And both teams are exploiting each other on their pick and roll defense against the show.
Perkins banks it in. All tied at 16. Pretty quick pace in this one to start. Celtics shooting 64%. Williams sees an opening. Nice feed to Hickson. Hickson too strong that time. Tips it again. Gets it back. Jamison this time. Can't get it to go. And Perkins quick outlet. Celtics are looking to push. Pierce with the 3. Rondo takes it away from James.
And to me, that's one of the big differences in the Celtic team. They've really dropped as a rebounding team. Last year, they out-rebounded teams by over 4.5 a game. This year, they're a negative rebounding differential.
It's hard to believe for a team that's 41 and 23. How do they make up for that?
You don't. As Pat Riley once said, no rebounds, no rings.
James foul on the entry pass to Rondo. As we'll take a timeout. First, our NBA calendar, ESPN tomorrow. Boston will be at home against Detroit. Lakers playing at Golden State. And NBA TV Tuesday, San Antonio at Miami. And on TNT Thursday, doubleheader, Magic and Heat from Miami. New Orleans playing at Denver. And it will not be a timeout. They'll come back out. James, as we said, looking to pass first, hasn't scored, but has 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Glenn Davis comes into the game and gets booed because it was Davis's foul on Shaquille O'Neal that damaged the thumb, injured the ligaments, and forced the surgery. So he's not Mr. Popular here in Cleveland. Rasheed Wallace also checks in for the first time. Delonte West and Andy Varejao in for Cleveland. Shot blocked by Pierce. Nice defensive play. And then Davis fouls Varejao.
Great job by Paul Pierce, not falling in love with just watching on the defensive end. Sense of urgency, gets back into the picture. The help of Rondo blocks the shot. If you're Big Baby Davis, you have to chase down that loose rebound.
Jamison, not that time. Marquise Daniels comes in for Pierce, and Rondo grabs the rebound.
To me, the Celtics got to keep pounding the ball into their size advantages.
Wallace over Jamison. West the rebound. Just over 2.5 remaining here in the opening period. Third meeting of the season between the two teams. West fakes the jumper. They're 1-1. Both teams winning on the other team's court. So the road team 2-0 so far in the season. Series is Parker's shot won't go. Davis lost it. Allen picks it up. Andy Varejao already bouncing off people, playing with his usual energy. Daniels way short. Rebound taken by Davis. Ray Allen, the runner, trying to draw some contact, and he does. And Allen will get to the free throw line, and now we'll have a timeout. 2:09 remaining, first quarter from Cleveland. Celtics and Cavs all even.
Thanks for watching ESPN on AB.
Then at 7, Bracketology presented by Staples, and then at 9, don't miss ESPN Films 30 for 30 winning time. Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks, presented by Levi's. Let's listen to a little Doc Rivers sound.
The way the game was going, I had to put my hand down. Hey, your son's a good player.
He didn't have a good game that game.
I know it, but he played great the next game. I didn't even know that was your son. I knew he went to Northwestern. I never even put it together.
Yeah.
And then I said, wait a minute. That's Danny's son.
So our guys will be going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting old. They're talking about their kids now.
Well, Jeremiah Rivers at Indiana playing for Tom Green, and Drew Crawford, co-freshman of the year in the Big Ten for Northwestern.
Average 10 points a game, 4 rebounds a game.
If I'm Danny Crawford, I'm hanging around until my son gets on this level. Think about the joy of refereeing a game and your son fulfilling his dream.
Speaking of college basketball,
That's my Final Four.
Cornell, there you go.
No, Ryan Whitman. Hey, everybody laughed at George Mason, and Tom Pender's Houston team is going to get there. They're on a roll. Audrey Coleman, Houston, they're going to get there.
They're going to get where?
To the Final Four. Them and Cornell.
You're the only person in the country that has those two.
Hey, Ryan Whitman, they gave Syracuse a battle. They can play with anybody in this country. They had Kansas at Kansas.
Tom Pender's taken his 4th different team to the NCAA tournament. 2 on the shot clock. James puts it in. That's his first bucket. Only his 2nd field goal attempt.
Looking at this guy's Final Four, did you realize I was speechless? I didn't even give my picks. You're amazing, man.
But hold on, I'm going back to Danny Crawford. If I was Danny Crawford and my kid got in the league, I'm giving him every call. Every single call.
Jamario Moon. That would be a very interesting scenario to see how that would be handled.
Well, it's happening, I think, in Major League Baseball. Randy Wolf, I believe, his brother, I think, is an umpire. I bet you that strike zone's expanded.
James, good defense from Daniels. James continues to dribble now, has to hoist it up. He put it in! What a shot from LeBron James! Struggling with his dribble. Daniels all over him, and he throws in the 3.
What I like most about that is the reaction by Mike Brown. After watching LeBron do all of that, he just smiles, almost as if to say, I'm a heck of a coach.
Ray Allen can't get it to go. Jamison the rebound. Jamison is an underrated rebounder. We talk about his scoring. He can board. Buried down. The Celtics don't get back. And it's a 5-point Cleveland lead.
You know, but Mark made a good point about Mike Brown. He doesn't get the credit he deserves as a head coach. And this guy does get all the credit, LeBron James, and rightfully so, as he is sort of mis-dribbling the ball all over the place. That should be a 4. You should have the right as an official to give an extra point on a truly spectacular play. But Mike Brown, because of LeBron James' greatness, doesn't get the credit for their defense, for their discipline. He's done a tremendous job.
Rasheed Wallace shot is short. All coaches who have star players, Phil Jackson, same thing. Perhaps not getting the credit that he deserves. I mean, everybody talking about him as one of the great coaches of all time, but everybody always says, well, he has the best player. Certainly it helps. But often they don't get the proper credit just because they have such a star player. James, that shot won't go. He drew the foul.
Celtics foul on number 7, Marquise Daniels.
1.6 remaining. Daniels picks up his first.
At the line, shooting 2 shots, LeBron James.
In the last meeting these two played, it was the end of February in Boston. Celtics stormed out, played a great first half. Cavaliers outscored them 60-32 in the second half. Now, Paul Pierce didn't play for Boston, and that was the game that Shaq injured his ligaments in the thumb, but it was an unbelievably dominant performance in the second half on the road as Paul Pierce missed that one, and the Celtics got whacked. James free throw shooting, as Wallace not going to do anything with it. That will end. James shooting just under 78% from the line this season. James with a usual strong first quarter, doing a little bit of everything that LeBron James can do. The defense, tremendous block on Paul Pierce. Also with 4 assists in the opening period. And despite the shot clock winding down, him falling down, knocks down the 3. Cavs finish the quarter on an 8-0 run.
Cleveland, Doc, they got that 6-point lead in the last minute and a half of the quarter. What didn't you like about the way you closed out the quarter?
I thought offensively, the ball stuck. Every time we made the extra pass, we got exactly what we want. I think our guys want to win this game. You can see them playing hard. But right now, everybody on our team is trying to play hero ball. They're trying to be the hero instead of trusting the team and moving the ball and playing together.
You told us yesterday that you've got to take away their threes. How do you think you did in that first quarter?
Well, they missed open threes, so I would say we didn't do a good job of it. But overall, I didn't mind our defense except for our transition D. I like the way we're playing. We just got to share the ball.
All right, thanks for your time. Mike?
Well, he certainly held the second best shooting team in the NBA to 41% shooting in that first quarter. That's a good number. Cavs normally shoots very high in the opening period, especially at home. Nate Robinson and Michael Finley both in the game. Nice pass from Finley. Davis puts it in and a foul. And a chance for a 3-point play as we listen to Doc Rivers' last huddle.
We're not going to win being heroes. All right? If you trust each other and share the ball, you'll score every time. You don't need to take a bad shot against this team.
Well, Jeff, so vital to move the ball against this team because the Cavs are such a good help defensive team.
Right, and they are exploiting them inside off the pick and roll. So right there, Glenn Davis got it right under the basket. Nate Robinson made the hockey assist where he gave it up freely so that when Davis ducked in, he was wide open. As Michael Finley did a great job as Davis sealed right under the rim.
So Michael Finley, now 37 years old, just signing with the Celtics after getting let go by the San Antonio Spurs at his request. And also Nate Robinson in the game. Robinson, of course, coming from New York in the trade. This is his 11th game with the Celtics. And as for Finley, it's his 4th game. Both trying to figure everything out. Mario Moon, shot won't go. Varejao comes flying in.
You love the energy of Anderson Varejao. Night in and night out. Defensive energy, offensive energy, looking to crash the boards, put so much pressure on the defense just because of his passion.
There's Robinson talking about energy. It's one of the reasons they made the trade. As defensive 3 seconds called against the Cavaliers. Robinson coming from the Knicks. Kevin Garnett says he is pure energy. He's playing about 14-15 minutes a game. He's had a couple of great games where he's had 14 points in 15 minutes, and they needed a little juice that he brings.
They needed scoring punch off of the bench. He's a guy that can score in bunches, and that's one thing that they needed. They made the move because of it, and there's no question about it. He's going to help as far as scoring off of the bench.
And I think in general, the Celtics are going to have to narrow down their rotation. They're at 10 now. They're trying to see where Nate Robinson fits in, where Michael Finley fits in. But at some point, they're going to have to narrow down, because just because you have a lot of guys who have similar type ability, like Marquise Daniels, Tony Allen, Michael Finley, that doesn't mean you have great depth. You need 2 or 3 guys off the bench who are superior to the guys they match up against.
And with Robinson and now Finley, Tony Allen kind of out of the rotation a bit. Hickson bumps into Daniels. Hickson sets on the shot. And Robinson the rebound. Robinson, for a guy 5'9", has always been a good rebounder. It's almost like a perfect situation for him playing with these veterans. Finley lines it up. Shot too strong. Wallace, the offensive board. Celtics are the worst offensive rebounding team in the NBA numbers-wise. As Davis off the mark. One of the reasons is they're one of the better shooting teams in the league, so they don't have as many opportunities. Williams lost it. How about Glenn Davis picking it up? Robinson then fires a 3. Michael Finley the rebound. Now puts it up and knocks it down.
I think Glenn Davis is the best big that the Celtics have off the bench. I think he gives energy, scoring punch. He's got good feet, and he plays at a fairly consistent energy level.
Dixon runs right into Rasheed Wallace, and they call a foul. Now, he had his problems early in the season when he missed 27 games with the right thumb surgery when he got into that fight with a buddy of his. But since he's come back, he's slowly worked himself back into the rotation and has played well. He wants to be called Big Baby anymore. He's undersized, but he often outworks his opponent.
Remember last year they had both Leon Poe and Glenn Davis, and there was a competitive thing who was going to get the most minutes. So they kept each other on their toes, and you had a good combination. Poe, a terrific rebounder. Big Baby, a better scorer, but they both got it done. I think the Celtics are missing what Poe brought to the team last year.
Yeah, there's what Varejao brings to the team. Just fights for every rebound, and because of that, Wallace deflects it out of bounds, and the Cavs get a new 24. Poe coming back from the major knee surgery, just starting to play a little bit. He was a good member of that 2008 Celtic championship team. West to Varejao. And a blocking foul call on Davis. And Varejao will go to the line. 2 fouls on Davis.
You know the problem. If you're the Celtics bigs, you come into the ball game and you say, how could Anderson Varejao hurt me? The only way he can hurt you is by outworking. And he's done that thus far in this ball game. On both ends of the floor, he has outworked every big man on the court.
Work and hustle is a talent. Not everybody has the motor to play at that intensity level every night. There's not one special skill other than his rebounding that he has that you would say that's really hard to deal with. It's his motor, it's his energy, it's his tenacity, it's the combination that set him apart as the best guy coming off the bench in the front court, besides Odom.
Battling Rasheed Wallace. Wallace posting up. You love to see, if you're a Celtic fan, Wallace post up down low as opposed to just hanging out on the three-point line.
Well, they need it on both ends from Wallace. There was a time in his career where he'd look at Anderson Varejao and say, this guy's going to match up against me. They need him to play with that edge.
They call that a 3. Williams' foot may have been on the line. Either way, the shot is good. And it's a 7-point Cavalier lead.
They should review that. They should definitely review that. But I didn't see them make the circle like they needed to review it. But I thought you're right, Mike. He was on the line.
Well, Williams, it's his first field goal. Got a good open look. Let's take a peek. Well, it's hard to tell from that angle. That's pretty close.
It looks like it's clearly the right foot is on the line.
Was behind the line, but as he lifts off to shoot it and the toe comes down, at least on that one, it appears that it touches the line and it should be a 2. So the officiating crew of Danny Crawford, Sean Corbin, and Tommy Nunez checking it out during that timeout. And let's check in with Lisa Saltis.
Mike, LeBron James trying to get in on the action. Just until a second ago, he was watching the review as closely as the officials were, and he had a bit of a complaint. He said to the officials, hey, we've asked for that same call before to review a play, and you don't do it. Just because Doc Rivers is yelling for a review, that's not fair. So I want to ask you guys, when is a play reviewable?
Well, a play is reviewable when the officials, not the coaches, ask for it, but when the officials give the signal that they want to look at it again. I'm surprised after looking at it that they didn't rule it a 2-point shot.
Now, here's the freeze from above looking down. It looks like the toe is on the line. But again, we saw that one on the side that the toe was clearly behind the line. But that was before he elevated.
Right.
But they counted as a 3 after looking at it. As the shot clock winds down, Rasheed Wallace, nice pass. Billy can't get it to go. And Mo Williams comes up.
But I love the ability for the officials to try to get it right. It's a great rule change that the NBA has instituted.
And even though the officials don't make the signal, they can, all right, discuss it during the timeout, say, we need to go check it out, which is what they did.
I would say we should start doing that when this guy makes a comment. I wave my finger and we go back so he has a chance to correct it.
No doubt about that 3-pointer from Williams, and it's a 10-point lead.
You know, that's very hurtful. But you know what I was thinking about just recently? I don't know if you guys watch the Oscars or not, but I'm watching as Davis finishes it, but I was watching the Oscars, and they were always asking each other, like, what are you wearing tonight? And I'm watching Doc Rivers and Mike Brown. So I was thinking about myself, what am I wearing? But more importantly, I was always thinking about what you were wearing. Like, you're looking good today. Not so much so when you were a player, but you're looking good now that you stepped it up as a broadcaster.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a good way of making up.
Well, we have the foul. I don't know why he's trying to get on your good side. There's got to be a here's the reason.
Wow.
Holy mackerel.
See, that is bad. You have to admit, that's bad. If you want me to make the circle, I want to see you be circling over your head, saying, I need a redo. Oh, my God. What is that? Fuchsia?
Wow, I can't believe y'all went there, man. Without telling me you were going there.
When I coached him, he had a talking car. It used to say when you got to stand back, you're too close. He had a refrigerator in his trunk. This was Mr. All Excess.
Was this the normal clothing that you wore, that kind of coloring?
You got to understand, there was a point where that was actually in style. I was getting it done on that day.
No, there's no one that can pull that off.
Pickle Fiddley knocks down the shot.
When I walked into the arena with that outfit on, security guards were like, ooh.
I think you're misinterpreting what they were saying about. That's Craig Sager like. Craig Sager would have blushed about wearing that.
Wow, I can't believe you guys went there, man.
West pulls back. Jump shot from West is good. Up by 9, just over 5 minutes gone by here in the second. Wallace up and under, trying to draw the foul. He thought he got hit. Davis takes it away from Varejao. Last touch from Varejao. Pretty physical down low. Nobody gains possession, so the shot clock remains at 10 as LeBron James checks back in.
And you give credit what you touched on with Varejao, Coach. Davis is bringing the same type of energy and passion to the Celtics. You see how he's disrupting on the offensive rebound, chasing down loose balls. You got to love that.
10 to shoot. Rondo will inbound. Shot clock down to 6. Pierce comes off the screen. Rondo to Garnett. Kevin Garnett, 4 of 5 from the field.
And the Cavaliers with this unit have LeBron James guarding Rondo to try to be a roaming type help defender.
Pierce on James. Nice feed to Varejao. Oh, Freddie pass for his 5th assist of the first half.
Best passer in NBA history.
No, seriously, I
didn't say. I said he may end up there. Quit putting words in my mouth. I put my foot in my mouth enough. You don't have to do it for me.
He's going to be in the discussion. He's certainly the best passing non-point guard, but you're doing a disservice to the great passing point guards like Magic and Stockton and Isaiah and Kidd and Nash, all of those guys. Are you kidding me?
Hold on. Did you just throw Isaiah Thomas into the same category as John Stockton and Magic Johnson as passers?
Isaiah Thomas is a top 10 passing point guard ever.
Yeah, okay, that's different than being the all-time greatest.
Are you saying he wasn't a great passer?
I'm saying he wasn't even close to Magic Johnson or my favorite LeBron James.
Rondo, meanwhile, banks it in.
Or John Stockton.
Charles Barkley would say that Isaiah's in Florida right now rolling over in his grave.
Why don't they let people die before they say he's rolling over in their grave? Don't you have to be dead to roll over in your grave?
That's Varejao misses. Rebound Garnett. Varejao goes right back at him, and they're going to call a hell ball. Garnett doesn't like the call, but there's Anderson Varejao once again hustling and trying to get another possession for his team.
Well, hustle's a talent. He drives it, misses, chases it, doesn't give up on a play. Tremendous energy and effort by Anderson Varejao.
And Ricky Ricardo would say, Mark Jackson, you got some splaining to do.
What is that? White sock?
Oh, I was getting it done that day.
The youth of Mark Jackson. That remained with the team, bringing in Wes Zerbiak, Ben Wallace, and Joe Smith. They lost in the conference semifinals. And then, with Wes Zerbiak and Wallace aboard, last year bringing in Mo Williams and drafting J.J. Hickson. Then this year, huge changes. Of course, Shaquille O'Neal, the #1 name, but Anthony Parker, Jamario Moon, and Antoine Jamison trying to surround LeBron James with the needed talent and teammates to win a championship, Mark.
And who would not want to play with this young man? You talk about what he does on the floor on a nightly basis. Humble, passionate, committed. Pick and roll, you talk about the vision. Comes off the screen, but he's looking to make a play. The steal by J.J. Hickson, the delivery on point, puts him in position to score. How about this? Once again, pick and roll, double team. Well, it's time to give up the basketball and trust that everybody will make the right play. 3-ball corner pocket after the delivery from other guys. His energy and effort and his unselfishness is contagious.
And Mike, you make a really good point. Dan Gilbert, the owner here, Danny Ferry, the GM, and Mike Brown. There's nothing they haven't done to try to keep LeBron James here. They have a first-class organization. They have a championship-caliber team. There's nothing more they could have done to retain his services.
Of course, that's the big summer decision for LeBron James and a number of high-profile free agents. He talks about championship team. Pierce was out of bounds when he caught it. They are certainly on the cusp. They have turned it around here at the Quicken Loans Arena to sell out. And there's Dan Gilbert. It's a great place. They have fallen in love with the Cavs and LeBron James. They certainly don't want to think about what would happen if he ever left.
So you watch this guy play, I can totally understand teams clearing up cap space to try to make a run at him. I'm not talking about losing, but trying to make a run at him. Put yourself in a position that you can entertain the thought of him being on your team.
Like the lottery, you got to be in it to win it. And a bunch of teams will try that this summer.
Yeah, you may not get him, but
Jamison Roy short. Garnett releases down the other end, and the back pass from Rondo. That's turnover number 6 for Boston.
You know, the Knicks gave up a lot to position themselves for 2 maximum contracts. Basically gave up 3 straight first-round picks. Their picks this year, Jordan Hill, flip-flop next year, and the next year giving up their picks. But if they get LeBron James, it's going to go down as the greatest trade in Knicks history.
Any team that would get him would feel that way.
Can you even picture him being any place else but Cleveland or New York?
Oh, absolutely.
You really can.
There's some great situations. I think that he's a guy that's going to think and say, okay, which team gives me the best opportunity to win? I think there's some real good situations for him, including this one.
Loose ball foul called on Perkins. Reminder, be there live for all the action. Go to NBA.com/tickets now to reserve your seats to see your favorite NBA team take the court. The NBA, where memories happen. There's some Celtic fans sneaking in here at the Quicken Loans Arena. Got that Celtic green going. Let's get ready for St. Patrick's Day on Wednesday.
2 shots. Antoine Jameson.
Jameson had that nightmare start to his Cavs career, went 0 for 12, but since then he has shot well. He's fit in beautifully. Mike Brown was talking before the game. He said they got him for 2 main reasons: his character and his ability to score, and he's as good as advertised in both departments.
And right now, he can't make a free throw. Historically, he's been a great free throw shooter. Since he's come here, he's shooting below 50% from the free throw line.
For his career, 73%. As Garnett and Verjao get entangled, and they call the foul on Garnett. That's 3 on Kevin Garnett. And Doc Rivers not happy right now. So they're in the penalty on the loose ball foul.
Shooting 2 shots. Anderson,
and that's a foul on Kevin Garnett. There's no question about it. But I gotta once again point the finger at Verjao for his energy. How many big guys just say, okay, it's just a free throw, I'm just going to get back on the other end? He's not giving up on any plays. This is absolutely a joy to watch. Put so much pressure on Garnett. That's a foul.
And Verjao is saying he knows that he gets under opponent's skin. He knows that on the road he gets booed a lot for his style of play, flopping all over the place. But he says he will do anything and everything to help his team get another possession. Pierce pull-up jump shot. You know, we talk about Garnett trying to get back to form for them to have a chance for a title. Jameson, that's a pretty good head fake that Davis went for and then rammed into Jameson. Is it going to be the act of shooting? It should be. Although Jameson looked like he was going to put it on the floor if Davis had gone by him.
Actually, they're calling in the act of shooting. And the Cavs upset because they say if it's in the act of shooting, it should be a 3, but it shouldn't be, actually, because he was inside the 3-point line with that right foot.
And he stopped shooting. He was going to put it on the floor.
Well, wouldn't you? If Glenn Davis is up in the air and flying at you, you should, just cover. Take cover.
But it doesn't matter. They're in the penalty, so he's going to go to the free throw line anyway. That free throw won't count. Meanwhile, Davis picks up his 3rd personal. He got his money's worth on that one.
But again, that possession right there, Mike, started with poor transition defense. Glenn Davis had to guard LeBron James, which left Jameson open at the 3-point line. So they were asking Davis to guard LeBron James and then recover back. That's got to be, your life has got to flash before your eyes right there if you're Jameson.
Tell you what, for a big guy like that, we've always said it about him. He's got great athletic ability, Davis.
People booing. That was a clean play. That was energy trying to stop the ball with LeBron and then chase back to his man.
Cavs have missed 7 free throws and still up by 9. Rondo draws contact as he gets knocked to the ground. Well, their all-star point guard will shoot 2. Davis will sit down with the 3 fouls as Rasheed Wallace is checked back in.
Second team foul this quarter.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Mike, you know the fans here in Cleveland are still angry with Big Baby because of the foul on Shaquille O'Neal and him injuring his thumb, needing surgery, being out for the rest of the regular season. Big Baby told me before the game, he said, hey, I expect to hear the Boo Birds this afternoon. Also because he said there was something out there said that after Shaquille got hurt, that Big Baby was kind of going after that thumb because Shaquille went up and down the floor another couple of times before he came out of the game. He said, absolutely not true. I even texted Shaquille after the game. We're good friends. And Shaquille texted me back saying, no worries, don't worry about it, I'll be back. So everything's good between Shaquille and Big Baby.
Lisa,
but not between him and the fans here in Cleveland, of course.
Lisa, you can't call him Big Baby. You get fined now. You're not allowed to call him that anymore.
Well, Cleveland fans are being big babies right now. The Cleveland fans, they can't be as Rondo strips Jameson.
James in pursuit. Rondo a little too quick. Jamison thought he got fouled. Mo Williams and Varejao play catch. 5-point lead for Cleveland. Varejao cuts to the basket, blocked from behind by Perkins, and Jamison tips it in. 6 points for Jamison. Pretty good physical game here in the first half. Cavs by 7, under 3 to play. Rondo sidesteps, flips it up, does not get the roll. Perkins there. Perkins sets, goes up. I don't know if Varejao got a piece of it, but he certainly altered it. Jamison for 3. He's been short on his threes. Wallace tipped it in, but who's right there to make the play happen but Andy Varejao? I keep saying he deserves consideration for 6th man of the year. His numbers won't match up against others, but his impact certainly can. Gets another rebound and is fouled by Wallace.
You know, and I totally agree with you. What he does on a nightly basis, he's not asked to be Jason Terry or Jamal Crawford, but what he does is just as important. His energy on the offensive boards, his defensive ability, his ability to get under the skin of the opponent. The guy knows how to play the game of basketball, and there's a reason this Cavs team is so successful, and his DNA is all over.
13 points and 6 rebounds. His numbers pretty impressive here in the first half. The Cavs by 9.
Get in and drive one.
Back in Cleveland, where Kevin Garnett and the Celtics are trailing by 9. Coming up, the T-Mobile halftime report. Stuart Scott, John Barry, Michael Wilbon, our first half analysis. And talk about Kevin Garnett's swats. He never lets a player, even after the whistle, score a basket. Always knocks it out. It's been kind of a tradition for him. Meanwhile, the guy's been swatting everybody and playing impressively once again is Andy Varejao.
He just doesn't concede plays. Here, Mark talked about it. Free throw rebound, doesn't concede it. Then getting pushed by Perkins, then not giving up. Perkins' second shot goes up to try to contest and influence the shot, and then putting his body on, drawing the loose ball foul. 13 points, 6 rebounds, second best plus minus in this league.
He's 27 years old. This is now his 6th year. He's from a small town in Brazil. He was one of 5 kids growing up and was a soccer player when he was a kid, but his father said you're getting too tall, so you got to switch to basketball. He switched to basketball at his dad's urging. His brother was a very good basketball player as well. His brother Sandro was his idol. His brother played junior college ball in Idaho, then at West Virginia. And Andy Varejao said he is living a dream playing in the NBA.
Can you imagine him on the schoolyard in Brazil on the soccer field? How much he irritated the guys he played with? He probably flopped and red carded all those other people.
2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Anthony Parker back in defending Pierce. Look at Varejao getting out on Allen to force him to put it on the floor. Pierce leans in, and Pierce gets it to go. They need that from Pierce. He was 0 for 5. And despite some of the struggles for the Celtics, they're only down 7.
But one of the problems with all the injuries, Mike, was there was a lot of role changes where Rondo was asked to score as Jamison lines up another 3. And they've got to get back to where Pierce is their focal point offensively.
Oh, blocked by James. Here comes Williams the other way. Mo Williams left-handed flips it in. LeBron James does it again with his defense. Ray Allen backdoor. He banks it in. Celtics come right back. Boy, Pierce had beaten him off the dribble, got by him. And James catching up once again. Parker. A minute remaining first half. Rondo. Sheldon Williams. And he draws the foul. Block of the game for LeBron James, both highlight types.
Jeff Van Gundy would probably say LeBron James will be the greatest shot blocker that's ever played this game.
Since Bill Russell. Man, that's pretty impressive, though. To be able to block shots with either hand, incredible.
Meanwhile, Sheldon Williams will go to the line. Sheldon Williams playing against his brother-in-law today. Kevin Williams is married to the great women's player Candace Parker. Candace's brother, Anthony Parker, one of the starters for the Cleveland Cavs. I asked him before the game, all right, who does your wife root for when the Cavs play the Celtics? He said, the one that she goes home with.
No question.
Oh, that's not true. She's not cheering, unless he's getting minutes. She's cheering for the winner.
No, she's cheering for her husband.
No way.
Are you serious?
She's going with LeBron. Who isn't on LeBron James's bandwagon? Even the great Candace Parker's on the bandwagon.
Pierce on James. DeMario Moon. Another part of that bench. Here's Anthony Parker. Jump shot. That's good. He has found a nice spot here. Anthony Parker's last 3 years with Toronto, but he made a name for himself over in Europe. Played 6 years in Israel. That turned his career around. Rondo a three. Won't go. Parker the rebound. About a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. LeBron James has only taken 4 shots. His teammates have done the job, as Mike Brown will call a 20-second timeout. With 12.7 here in the quarter and 11 to shoot. We'll come back for the final seconds of the first half. 8 Eastern time start, and then the second game, Lakers and Warriors from Oakland. NBA Special Edition on ESPN and ESPN360.com.
And I just want to say right now, Mark Jackson was right. Just how great Stephen Curry was going to be, he is.
Today's Stephen Curry's birthday.
Actually, my brother's birthday also. Happy birthday, Pee-wee.
James inside. Varejao, another pretty pass. And it's easy, too. How about Varejao? 15 points. Pierce draws contact, and they call a foul. The Cavs are upset, but there was plenty of contact there. Jamison was backing up. Pierce sold it well. And the officials are going to look at it.
That's not a foul on Antoine Jamison.
Pierce there looked like he initiated it.
And what they're looking for is not that it's a foul or not. They're looking at
whether it's a 3 or not.
3 or not.
It is a 3.
All right, so Curry is 22 today. How old's your brother, Mark?
He's actually 46. He's getting old.
You got to give up the nickname Pee-wee then. At some point, you're 46. You got to go to your given name. What's his given name?
Harry.
All right, we're going. You got to say it after your dad.
That's him.
That's after your dad. You got to say that proudly.
What name does he have to give up?
Pee-wee. Isn't that what you said? My goodness.
One of my all-time favorite NBA people's birthday today, Wes Unseld. And Jeff, one of your favorite players in the NBA that you coached, Larry Johnson.
Then this should be a national holiday because Larry Johnson is the ultimate teammate that I ever coached in my entire life. And thank you for that 4-pointer against Indiana. That's winning time, Reggie Miller.
He shouldn't be the only guy you thank for that.
And Jess Kersey, you're out there too? Thank you. It was a good call too. It was a very good call. Antonio Davis, bad decision.
Pierce knocks down the free throws. It's back to 6. And the Cavs will just inbound with 1/10 of a second remaining. And that will end the first half. Boston's got to feel pretty good. Only down by 6. As Pierce knocks down a free throw to make it a half dozen. LeBron James, 6 assists in the first half. Only took 4 shots. Hit 2 of them. The star player for them was Varejao with 15 points. And 6 rebounds. Meanwhile, Doc Rivers, his team trailing. But if you weren't looking at the score, you've got to be happy the way Pierce struggled and Ray Allen struggled shooting the ball. But Garnett played well. But the star of the first half, Andy Varejao, was with Lisa.
Thanks, Mike. Andy, 15 points, 6 rebounds in that first quarter. What was really going well for you?
Well, I just tried to be aggressive in the offense and the defense, running up and down, playing with a lot of energy, and trying to get as many as second chances for the team. And I believe that's what went well for me.
Now, everybody knows that you're a high-energy guy. How can you tell that you're really starting to get underneath the other team's skin?
Well, like I said, I just try to help my team, try to play hard. And yeah, I can tell they get upset, but I'm just trying to help my team, not trying to bother them or anything.
All right, thank you for your time.
No problem.
Mike.
Well, at least you can tell how hard he's playing. He's still out of breath. How do you not love Andy Varejao, what he brings? He only averages 8.8 points a game. And he's got 15 in the first half and all the hustle plays. The T-Mobile halftime report coming up. We'll have first half analysis and the Kevin Garnett swats. There's LeBron James and the Cavs with the best record in the NBA against one of their Eastern rivals. Halftime in Cleveland. Cavs 54, Celtics 48. Stay tuned for the T-Mobile halftime report after these messages.
They certainly should be happy. You talk about that lackadaisical defense that they played, also on the offensive end. Too many times one pass and then jack up a shot. That's bad offense right there. Absolutely bad offense. Then defensively, take a look here. You get a drive to the hoop. Anderson Varejao, the furthest guy away in transition, but look at the energy. Runs the length of the floor. There's no communicating as far as the Celtic defenders. Nobody talking about who's going to pick them up. Goes the length of the floor for an uncontested land. Inexcusable D for the Celtics.
Well, Boston will bring it up as we start the third quarter. And Pierce just 1 of 7. Ray Allen only 2 of 7. Leading scorer was Garnett. He's the only Celtic in double figures. He had 10. James is Denard Pearson has done an excellent job. Ray Allen knocks down the shot.
Ray Allen.
And Mike, what I think the Celtics will get back to as they get back into their regular rotation is more pick and rolls with Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. They've run primarily pick and rolls this year with Rondo, and he's shown a great improvement in that area. But to keep the rhythm of their best offensive players, I think that's what they'll get to against the best team.
James gets it. Mid-range jumper won't go. Allen the rebound. Now Pierce has been bothered. He had that sprained left foot. He missed several games. He's also had that thumb injury on his shooting hand. As Rondo gets inside, draws the foul on Mo Williams. As we send it over to Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, I was speaking to Doc Rivers coming out of the locker room, and he said it's really the defense that the Celtics have to step up. He said, hey, especially from three. They made 5 threes in that first half, and he said there were 5 threes, at least 5, that they should have made. He said, in fact, Mark Jackson could have made those threes, and then he paused and said, no, Mark couldn't have made those. So, Mark, I'm not really sure what he meant by that, but since everybody else was taking a shot at you, I figured that I'd let Doc Rivers take a shot as well. But he said, overall, defensively, our execution is poor and our energy is pretty good. He said, if we can just up our execution, I think we'll win the game.
I think Doc Rivers was not studying the later reports on you in your career, in that you developed into a nearly 40% three-point shooter.
I'm shocked at Doc because you should know better. He's a student of the game.
You've been underestimated your whole life. I think you're announcing with a chip on your shoulder.
By the way, 33% for his career from downtown.
I said later in his career.
I'm throwing out the numbers.
We don't need the 33, Mike. He sealed the deal with the 40 later on.
People want to know. Pierce took an extra step but traveled. 7th turnover for Boston. Pierce looks over at Jordan Corbin, trying to show him, this is what I did.
It always looks better in the slow motion of what they think they did than what they really did. And I have no idea if that was a travel or not.
Pierce guarding James at the other end. Those two, that performance they put on in the playoffs, a 7-game series in 08 as Perkins fouls James. That was so much fun to watch. They both have improved their defense. LeBron James, last several years, and it's not just his shot blocking, and he had 3 in the first half. And same thing with Pierce. Later on in his career, he became a much better defender. Kevin Garnett's presence had a lot to do with that.
Again, when you come to the point in your career where you commit completely to winning, then you know that's going to have to be a big part of your game. You're going to have to defend. In this league, the offensive talent is not similar, but it's closer than the defensive commitment. That's where the great teams separate themselves, is defensive commitment.
And that's Mike Brown's biggest influence on the Cavaliers, is they were a poor defensive team when he got here, and he instituted a mindset, defend first. Garnett jump shot. Hickson the rebound.
And if I'm Mike Brown, I have to send a message to my team. Okay, it's time to put the Celtics away as LeBron James gets hit in the face by Kevin Garnett looking to attack. But you can't allow this team to hang around.
Garnett quickly went over to check on him. James shaken up. Made a beautiful move, first a crossover. Obviously got smacked in the face.
20 seconds.
See all the other four starters gathered around him, along with Mike Brown now slowly walking out.
Usually their whole team comes out.
If I'm Dan Gilbert, I come out.
Yeah, right by the eye area. Looks like he got poked in that left eye. Max Fenton, the head athletics trainer. Ooh. So he's going to come out. They'll give him 30 seconds. Now they're going to call a timeout, because if he left, he wouldn't be allowed to come back in if he doesn't shoot his free throws. So they call the timeout, give him a little chance to recover. We'll take a break and be right back.
It's now time to play Keep It Deal or No Deal.
NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC, presented by Final Fantasy 13. Brought to you by the Mitsubishi Lancer. It's different for a reason.
The trade cases right now.
Back in Cleveland, LeBron James is okay after taking a shot to the face with his Cavs up by 3 here early in the third quarter. James got hit going to the basket. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the replay. There's the hard foul. Nothing deliberate there from Kevin Garnett as we check in with Lisa.
Well, Mike, LeBron James spent that timeout over on the bench just trying to clear out the cobwebs, getting worked on by head athletic trainer Max Denton. Max was asking him if he had any pain through the bridge of his nose or on his cheekbone. He said no. He asked him if he was seeing stars. He said no. He also said, which was good news, that no skin was broken, there was no blood, and LeBron just looked like he needed some time to kind of just shake it off. Right?
Well, by the way, it's Kevin Garnett's 4th foul. The Doc Rivers keeping him in there.
And I think LeBron James should have answered to Max Benton on whether he was seeing stars. Yeah, right here, Max. I'm a star.
5-point Cavalier lead. Rondo gets free. Jamison on Garnett. Garnett, smart move, draws the foul. That's Jamison's 4th.
And I like Doc Rivers keeping Garnett in, even with 4 fouls early in the third quarter, because he only got to play 11 minutes in the first half. How are you going to build rhythm back as a player? Same with Paul Pierce if you're not playing your usual minutes. If you foul out, so be it. But get your minutes in so you can try to get back to being at top form.
And you know, especially because Doc Rivers has pointed out that Kevin Garnett is a rhythm player. He's a guy that's got to stay on the basketball floor, whether it be practice or game situations, to get back to what they expect him to get back to.
Well, that was when he was the Defensive Player of the Year back in 2008. He's been an all-defensive player 9 times, 7 times the first team. Really one of the great defenders of his era. And he hits a pair of free throws. 3-point game.
Now, I said it a couple of minutes ago. I'd be concerned about Mike Brown, because this is a Celtic team that have not displayed the enthusiasm to want to be playing today. They have no business being in this ball game, but they find themselves down 3 early in the third. If you're the Cavs, you should have put them away a long time ago.
James draws in contact and puts it in. What's helping keep the Celtics in the game is how many free throws Cleveland has missed. They've missed 10. And while Boston is 16 of 17 from the line. Garnett calling for it against Verjao, who pokes it out of bounds. Just relentless. Allen looking. Garnett fires up the jump shot. Perkins got held that time. Bergeron got away with one. 5-point Cleveland lead. 3 minutes gone by here in the third. James has only taken 6 shots in his 22 minutes. Anthony Parker draws the foul on Ray Allen. And Parker to the free throw line. 2 on Allen.
You talk about James with only 6 shots. It really points directly to who he is as a basketball player and his greatness. Here's a guy that's the second leading scorer all time versus the Celtics, behind Michael Jordan. Averages 30 points a game against the Celtics. But he's allowing the defense to tell him what to do on the floor, and he's facilitating.
So Parker will shoot. Parker 5 points. The starter puts in the first. Our NBA calendar, ESPN tomorrow. Celtics will be home against Detroit at 8 Eastern. Then the Lakers and the Warriors from Oakland. NBA on Tuesday. Spurs and the Heat from Miami. And then the doubleheader on TNT Thursday. Heat host the Magic. And then Denver hosting New Orleans. Hickson tried to follow and couldn't. Rondo calls out the play. Rondo 10 points. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Rondo having an all-star season. Allen gets it. Rondo inside, lefty layup, banks it in. Pretty play.
Again, when Ray Allen is involved, either pick and rolls or coming off screens, he is going to draw multiple defenders. That time a good, easy play back to Rondo, who wasn't able to drive it to the rim.
A little over a week ago, Allen was talking about that. Felt the team wasn't moving the ball enough. Doc Rivers has talked about it as well. James flips it up. Shot won't go. Bergeron falls, gets it to Hickson. And Perkins grabs the rebound. Garnett single coverage with Hickson. Spins away from the double, draws the foul. And he'll go back to the line as Hickson picks up another. That's his third.
Well, they ran him secondarily off a pin down to Perkins. So that draws Mo Williams to a nice simple bounce pass back to Rondo, who can then use his speed and quickness to attack the basket.
That's good unselfishness by Ray Allen, because he actually was open on the first play when Rondo didn't find him. He's got to run it again and then give up the basketball. I say just grabbing all of the attention. Help has to come. Mo Williams comes over. Rondo puts himself in position to catch and then be aggressive before Mo Williams can get back to him. That's excellent execution on the offensive end.
Mark, Ray Allen, since the All-Star break, has been really shooting the ball well. Best so far this season. His name was mentioned in a lot of trade rumors. It was thought that maybe they might deal, and Danny Ainge kept them informed throughout the whole way. But even for a guy who's been in the league so long, and Allen's been in now 14 years, do the trade rumors, did that have an effect as you come up to the trading deadline? You had to deal with that.
There's no question, especially as Mo Williams knocks down the jump shot. If you're Ray Allen, you're thinking, I want a championship with this dude. But then he's a veteran, so you also have to understand it's a business. The bottom line is you're going to be discussed in trade talk, and things are going to happen, but he's a professional. Give him credit.
Pierce with a nice shot. Especially, he loves it in Boston. His family's in Boston. At this point in your career, you don't necessarily want to pick up and go. Now, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, so he might be leaving if they don't sign him anyway.
And yet, on the other hand, Danny Ainge has to do his job, which is to try to make his team not only now, but going forward, as good as he possibly can make it.
James misses. Mo Williams the long rebound. Trying to dribble out of trouble. Look at Tom Thibodeau coaching him on the sidelines. The Celtics assistant coach, so intense. Williams hits a three. Mo Williams, a couple of threes here in the third, and the Cavs back up by 6.
And when he plays well offensively and making his threes, Cleveland is very difficult to beat.
They're 7 of 14 from downtown. Only the Phoenix Suns shoot a higher percentage as Rondo answers. 4-point game as we approach the midway point here, third quarter. Third meeting of the season between the two. Celtics won in Cleveland opening night. Cleveland won in Boston late February. Hickson. Perkins comes out. Good contesting of the shot. Pierce trying to get going. Pierce from downtown, and it's a 1-point game. Paul Pierce shooting a career high 44% from three-point range. That's their first three-pointer. They were 0 for 6. James up and under. James now with 13, looking to score more. Leon Poe gets off the bench. He's going to come in for Cleveland. Ray Allen, quick release, nails the three, and it's tied.
Now that's 3 straight plays that Ray Allen was basically wide open. The other 2 were bad passes by Rondo. That time made the adjustment, puts the ball on point. Ray Allen catches and fires.
Mo Williams catches and fires, won't go. Garnett the rebound. And this is like the Celtics. Good balance for the 5 starters in double figures. Everybody touching the ball. Garnett wanted to get it to Perkins, who didn't roll the way Garnett thought. Garnett pats himself up by Paul. Inside to Hickson. 12 for Hickson. Doc Rivers urging his team to push it up the floor. Another turnover. It's the 9th for Boston. Rasheed Wallace is going to come in. And we're going to have a timeout. Or are we? No. Sean Corbin says, wait, come on back on the floor. No commercial. Even the players were confused. They started walking to the bench.
And on the floor for your Cavaliers, number 13,
James now with 7 assists to lead everybody in that department. Just incredible, his passing. We talked about it at the top. Mike Brown talks about it all the time, to have his superstar player be as unselfish as anybody on the roster.
No, he's not trying to make the home run pass, and that's something that Doc Rivers just finished talking to Rondo about on that turnover. Instead of trying to make that play, put the ball in the hands of Ray Allen and trust that he will make the play to Paul Pierce.
Rondo on James. Leans in. Just powers over him.
So they tried to show earlier on that pick and roll. James slipped for a layup. That time they switched, took advantage of the mismatch, and James overpowered Rondo.
Perkins backs in against Varejao. Falling away. Varejao got a piece of the ball, and apparently his arm as well. 2 fouls on Varejao.
His second personal. 4th team.
Good defense by Varejao, battling. Perkins with the turnaround jumper gets fouled. How about the strength of LeBron James? You talk about power, uses that shoulder. Excuse me, Rondo. Knocks down the leaner. That is, I mean, that's unguardable.
Perkins misses the free throw. Kendrick Perkins, meanwhile, he has a chance to set a Celtic record for highest single-season field goal percentage, which is 60.9%. Cedric Maxwell, who's in the building, who's one of the Celtic radiocasters, he's the guy that owns the record. Did it back in 79-80. Perkins right on par. Perkins says Maxwell reminds him about it every single day, saying, you got a lot of games to go. You got a lot of shots to hit. Maxwell liking to have fun with him.
Celtics on
Cornbread constantly reminding him. There he is next to Sean Graham, the Celtics radio man.
No, and Cornbread was a big-time player and really had some great moments when it mattered most at the Celtic-Lakers series.
Looks like he lost his cufflinks there. What's going on?
Wow.
I don't know. 3.5 remaining here in the third. Cleveland by 4. Ball deflected by Rondo, the NBA steals leader. West gets it back. 5 on the clock. Parker for 3. Won't go. Ball loose. And who comes out but Varejao? James on a pull-up. Puts it in.
But you have to block Varejao out. That shot went up. No block out by Rasheed Wallace. Varejao had a straight run to the ball. Easy offensive rebound for him.
Pierce can't get it to go. Varejao tips it. Rondo, nice ball fake, kicks it out. Rasheed Wallace open for 3. Misses that, knocked out of bounds, and it's still going to be Boston ball. Cavs argue the call, but it appeared that the One of the Cleveland players deflected it. Andy Varejao getting it done for the Cavaliers.
Well, again, that's not just Rasheed Wallace's fault. That's help defense. So Rondo should have stepped in front of him. He keeps it alive, and it gets another 2 points for the Cavaliers. Varejao has had a serious impact on this Cleveland Cavaliers 6-point lead.
The Bounty Hunter in theaters March 19th.
Will Jamison be the final piece to the championship puzzle. He has played well for them since arriving from Washington. Right now sitting with 4 fouls. Ray Allen off the screen. Largest lead for Cleveland was 10. Boston came back and tied it here in the third, but the Cavs have come back. James has 11 points here in this third period. That jump shot won't go. Davis boxing out. They're going to call a loose ball foul on Glenn Davis. That's going to be 4 on Davis as Leon Poe did a good job trying to fight through it.
And the Celtics have been called for a couple fouls when they've gone what we call face guard blockout, meaning you don't turn into him, you just try to ride him out. It hasn't worked well for them. The bigs for the Celtics would be better served hitting than turning into them. That way you can get away with a lot more contact.
So Leon Poe playing just his 7th game since returning from the major knee surgery. He was on that 2008 Celtic championship team. Had some big games in the playoffs in his role off the bench. And as you guys talked about earlier, him and Davis were fighting for minutes. They were in competition.
You know, you make a good point about face guard and great rebounders, and I understand that there are times that you do that. But if you're the Celtics, go get the basketball.
I agree. You don't have to face guard these guys. You just have to hit and then release and go get the. They have to start gang rebounding. It's not just 1 or 2 guys. It's got to be 5 guys defensively pursuing the ball. And as you mentioned earlier, making more multiple effort plays where it's not just one effort and stop.
Rondo gets past Poe and gets the layup to go. Boy, such quickness. That ends the 8-0 run. Rondo's got 16. He's become one of the better guards to get to the rim.
Well, one of the better guards, period, on both ends of the floor. He's put himself in the discussion when we talk about top point guards in the league.
Varejao, a little over aggressive that time. Picks up his 3rd. And the Cavs now with 5, so they'll shoot.
And you know, he gets this room because Pierce is in one corner and Mike Finley is in the other. So the ability to come off the pick and roll, you choose which side and look to turn the corner. If help comes, be a willing passer. If it doesn't, then look to score.
And also a good choice by Rondo. He could have gone off either side. He could have gone off on Varejao's side, who's an outstanding pick and roll defender, or you could go off Leon Poe's side, who's just coming back from knee surgery. Good choice by Rondo to attack the rehabilitating Leon Poe.
See Finley back in the game. Rasheed Wallace to the line. All right, Mark, this is the first year for Wallace here. Signed a 3-year free agent deal with the Celtics. What's his year been like?
He hasn't gotten it done. You know, there's no way to dance around that. He's underachieved and did not bring to the table what they thought he would bring. The good news is that when it matters most, it's still coming. So it's an opportunity for him to bring to the table what they need. But so far to date, he hasn't done it.
You know, we talked about Kevin Garnett and his defense. Rasheed Wallace, when he was at his prime, was one of the best low post defenders, one of the best help defenders in the NBA.
You know, they expected a guy that can shoot the long ball, so stretch the defense with his shooting ability, also post up and defend. And he hasn't done that.
Shot clock at 5. Rondo again on James. Pull-up jump shot. That won't go. Finley the rebound. Under 2 to play here in the third. Rondo having another strong all-around game. Pass deflected. Oh, Davis just hip checks Varejao into the sideline.
No, that was a flop. Good job, Danny Crawford. Help him up, but don't give him that call.
I want to see that one again.
That's good. A good sell job by Varejao. I mean,
that's nothing. You have to see the whole thing. Listen, he deserves that. No, he deserves that because he's flopped so many times Come on.
That's not a flop.
That's a flop.
He flops a lot. That's not a flop.
And you know what? Even if he did get hit, he's tried to trick the referee so many times. He deserves those non-calls.
I'll give you that.
No, that's not a foul, and he also sold it.
Pierce, as Pierce gets in, double team. Finley spots up, and too strong as James gets his 5th rebound. LeBron James says, clear it out. I've got Glenn Davis on me.
Davis has better feet than you would think.
Yep. West tries to jam it into Poe, and Poe gets raked across the arm by Rasheed Wallace.
You don't need to foul there. Go up and block the shot.
And that would have been a difficult shot. So Poe back to the line again. Marquise Daniels checks back in. Pierce is going to get a rest. Pierce started 0 for 5 with 2 shots here in the 3rd quarter. Good free throw shooting from Boston. Well, if you saw your future, how far would you go to change it? The groundbreaking hit series is back. ABC Splash Forward. All new episodes start Thursday, March 18th at 8, 7 Central on ABC. March 14th already. 1 month left in the regular season. And the Celtics still jockeying for position. Right now they're in the 4th spot. So if they won their 1st round, they would beat Cleveland in the 2nd round. Doc Rivers not concerned about positioning right now. He just wants his team to get some kind of consistency. Rondo. Nice little crossover. Shot won't go. Davis keeps it alive and deflects it off Parker. There's a good hustle play from Glenn Davis. And a new 24 for Boston.
If I'm Doc Rivers, I show clips of Davis and Garnett. They're the only 2 big guys that played like Anderson Varejao. If we want to win, if I'm Doc Rivers, then we have to have this effort across the board.
Finley. Rondo just in control out there. Finds Davis. Jump shot for Glenn Davis. Oh, James comes in and rips it away from Daniels. Got the crowd going. Final seconds, 3rd quarter. James on the drive. Inside. Free throws.
At the end of the quarter, it's just too easy when he's just isolating up high. It's a blow by to his right hand. The help is late by Wallace. To me, that's a soft possession. Daniels has got to at least make him work, and that's what Pierce, I think, was doing very well from a body type standpoint. He wasn't allowing these direct line drives. That's a direct line drive, which makes it hard to help.
They're a different team defensively. This is not the same defensive group that took Kobe Bryant and the Lakers and really embarrassed them. They were in sync, top to bottom, connected, help, recover, multiple effort things, and they just don't have that right now.
Nate Robinson has come in with 3.7. Starts when Rondo touches the ball. Gets it across half court. Rondo on the drive, puts it up in the paint. Great look.
That's a smart play by Rondo and bad defense by Delonte West.
And that will end the 3rd quarter. LeBron James did a lot of distributing in the 1st half, but using his strength here in the 3rd quarter, scoring, attacking the goal once again. As James getting to the free throw line 6 times in that period, had 11 points in the quarter. This presentation of NBA Sunday Showcase presented by Final Fantasy 13 continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching ESPN on
Welcome back to Cleveland, Mike. An 8-point lead, but what have the Celtics been doing to really hang around?
Well, they're just a gritty team, and their grittiness has kept them in the game. We had a chance to increase on the lead a little bit, but our free throw shooting hadn't been the best. And, you know, if it was because we're aggressive, then there might be more of a difference in this ball game. And hopefully we'll continue to knock them down like we did late in the 3rd.
What was your reaction when you saw LeBron get hit in the face in that third quarter, and how is it affecting his play today?
Well, he's played well since it's happened, and so I'm okay with it. He's knocked down free throws. He's continued to attack. Obviously, anytime him or anybody on your team gets hit, you get a little worried. But he's a warrior, and he's tough, and I knew he'd come back okay.
All right, thanks for your time.
All right, Lisa, he starts on the bench to begin the fourth as Mo Williams goes barreling in. Draws an offensive foul.
That's a good job by Glenn Davis standing in and taking the charge, but this is bad defense. You see Paul Pierce, the one guy making energy and effort towards contesting, four guys watching, one with an open shot. Doc Rivers cannot be satisfied with that.
Nate Robinson in the game, defensive 3 seconds, so a one-shot technical. Celtics have out there Nate Robinson, Michael Finley, Marquise Daniels, Rasheed Wallace, and Glenn Davis. Wallace shooting the technicals.
And if I'm Doc Rivers, this is showing the ultimate trust in your bench. Because with LeBron James out down 8 to start the quarter, a lot of people would go back to Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett to try to cut into that lead as James rests.
Wallace, an 80% free throw shooter this season. This is on that one. Celtics have been terrific from the line, 20 of 24. As Daniels looking to post up Delonte West. Finley, nice little fake, two-pointer, can't get it to go. Rivers getting a good look at two of his new players in Robinson and Finley. West to Jamison, flips it up, won't go. Wallace the rebound. Jamison has struggled 3 for 11. He's been in foul trouble a good portion of the game. Wallace catch and shoot at 3. I know he's a pretty good three-point shooter, but that was too quick.
Well, the problem is these are shots that he's made in the past. So you expect, that's a good look. Those are the type of shots you live with, but he hasn't found his game here in Boston. 29% from three-point range this year. Yet his percentage in two-pointer when he posts up, obviously way higher. Didn't get that one to go though either. And Leon Poe the rebound. 8-point Cleveland lead. We're just over 90 seconds into the fourth. Cavs trying to prove on the best home record in the NBA. They're 28-4 here at home. 67-6 over the last 2 years. Poe is fouled, tripped up inadvertently. And he's going to go back to the free throw line as we listen to a recent huddle from Doc Rivers.
We're right here. Listen, we got to get stops, though. They got 80 points on us, guys. We would all say we've missed wide open shots, wide open layups. We'll live with that.
It's the reason they won a championship was their great defense in 08. They're still one of the better defensive teams, certainly one of the best in the league. Poe hits another free throw.
And Mike, so often when you're a darn good team like the Celtics are, they're very good. But when you're not quite up to that same level, it's hard to keep pulling more out of older players. Sometimes the reason Father Time is undefeated is because you can't ramp it up as often as you used to.
You make a good point, because I also think that sometimes the message can lose its sting. So I can show you not rotating or not getting it done. At some point you say, I don't want to watch film. I'm not paying attention to it. So you've got to find guys that sold out towards the purpose.
And I still believe that Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce still love the game, love to compete. But when I'm watching right now, that mental toll being good exerts on you. It's really hard to sustain your mental focus.
Robinson to the basket, lefty layup, won't go. Davis the rebound, puts it on the floor, and draws the foul. Well, the talk is, did 2008 take a lot out of him? Obviously, they're not the same as they were a couple of years ago. Injuries have been a part of it. As the age is creeping up, you can't expect them to play at the same level as you get older.
No, but people do. I mean, because they still have the same name, you equate that they're going to still be the same players, and it's just hard to do. And that's why who you surround those guys with. That's why I like Glenn Davis. I like his energy. It's a contagious type of thing. It can make, as we heard Mo Williams talk about before, when you see like someone like LeBron James bouncing around in the locker room, it can make you want to compete at a little bit higher level. And when you see Glenn Davis, even though he missed those 2 free throws, attacking the glass, taking a charge on the first play, that can inspire a team.
Celtics 0 for 3 from the free throw line here in the fourth quarter to start. They need every point they can get right now. Down by 10. This matches the largest lead. And we've got a foul called against Kevin Garnett. That's 5 on Garnett.
Celtics foul number 5, Kevin Garnett.
Garnett get off to a hot start. Doc Rivers kept him in even though he had 4 fouls for a while.
But they haven't scored yet. You know, where are they going to go for their scoring?
Pierce is still on the bench. Here's where Nate Robinson comes in, hoping to provide some spark and scoring off the bench. Good defense from Robinson. West. And a blocking foul. We're going to take a break. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Cleveland with a chance to take their largest lead of the game when we come back.
Thanks for watching ESPN on
Cavs right now up by 10 as we take a look at our Lincoln game track. And James, the leading assist man once again. Free throws. Cavs struggle early, but all of a sudden they've hit 12 of their last 13. As the Celtics right now having difficulty scoring, as they still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter. We've played over 3 minutes. They've missed their last 9 shots from the field.
What I like, Mike, as we showed the NBA cast, there's some people, not just basketball players, but celebrities in general, that will go to an appearance as a photo op and go through the motions. You take a look at LeBron James in that footage, and he was enjoying his time with these people, impacting their lives. That's special to take a look at.
You know, you go up and down the league, and we're just saying it to shill for the NBA. The league does such an unbelievable job of community service, and the players just, they embrace it and make the most of it. He's just one of hundreds of them.
I'm going to start trying to eat healthy. He said to eat healthy. I'm going to try to do it. I want someone to develop a diet that revolves around M&M's, though.
Largest lead of the game for the Cavaliers. And a whistle away from the ball. Delonte West a little over aggressive outside the lower defensive box, so his first foul. James can rest easy. His team's extending the lead there. I'd hug him too if he was my teammate.
No doubt. He got Anderson Varejao paid. I'd whisper sweet nothings in his ear.
Right, but if you're LeBron, you'd be hugging Andy also.
No question.
It's a lot of love here at Cricket Loans Arena.
You win 60 every year, everybody gets along.
Last year they won 66, but lost in the conference finals, 6 games to the Orlando Magic.
I like what Doc Rivers is doing right now, putting back in Pierce, Rondo, and Real. Okay, it's time to make a run.
You want Nate Robinson a little over-aggressive on his ball denial. He's called for the foul.
But Nate Robinson has defended harder in these 8 or 9 minutes tonight than he did when he was in New York.
Absolutely.
You think?
I think.
Well, there's a group over there to hold each other accountable also. So there's a
Don't just hold Nate Robinson accountable. Start holding each other accountable of the veterans too.
Absolutely.
Though. It can't just be the young guys or the new guys.
Dangerous pass. Williams picks it up. Shot clock at 7. Williams bumped by Rondo. Shot won't go. Jamison kept it alive, but a loose ball foul against the Celtics. So now they're in the penalty with 8:08 remaining. As James set to check back in.
They've gone small, Boston has, with Paul Pierce at the 4 spot.
And the reason why you can get away with that is really no threat as far as posting up Paul Pierce and capitalizing that he's a small forward playing power forward.
At the line with 2 seconds. At point, Jamison
to the line. Jamison acquired from Washington in the trade that saw Zydrunas Ilgauskas traded. Wizards have bought out Ilgauskas, and it appears the Cavaliers will sign him when he's eligible on March 22nd. James is certainly happy about that. We talked about Varejao and James being popular teammates. Hard to be more popular than Big Z, and they all want him to come back here. Varejao says that he's his #1 mentor in the NBA.
What a terrible rule for the NBA, but what a great thing for Ilgauskas. 6 weeks paid vacation in New York City. If I'm Z, I don't know where he lives there. I hope you're listening. Enjoy these last couple weeks before you have to go back to work.
About 8 days he can sign with them. Under 8 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Garnett catches, double. Tough shot won't go. Jamison the rebound. Garnett thought he got hit.
And I like what Mike Brown did. He also went small, putting LeBron James at the power forward position and so he can switch across the board.
Nice pass. Williams to Jamison, largest lead. And this, like the game in late February, it was close going into the fourth quarter, and the Cavs pulled away by dominating the final period. Rondo blocked. I think it was Jamario Moon who got a piece. Here's Williams outrunning the Celtics. Back to James. Up and under. Banks it in. And the lead is ballooned just like that to 17 as the Cavs get a standing ovation.
Sunday Showcase on ABC, presented by Final Fantasy 13, available now. And the all-new 2011 Kia Sorento, official vehicle of the NBA.
Everybody in Cleveland, Cavs on the verge of another home victory as they lead 89-72, trying to clinch the home court advantage throughout the playoffs. They have the best record in the NBA. Wasn't that way early. Celtics had that great start, then they had some injuries, some inconsistent play. After that 23-5 start, now currently in the 4th spot, but right there with Atlanta and Orlando. Celtics should have problems against the premier teams. They're 1-1 against Cleveland, 1-3 against Orlando, 0-4 against Atlanta. Garnett, and they finally score their first points, and it took them 5 minutes. They had missed their last 12 shots from the field. Actually, it's their first points in over 7 minutes going back to the end of the third quarter. James falling away. Short. Tipped by Jamison. Finley fires a three. Way short. Boston just 2 of 12 from 3-point range. Overall shooting just 37%. Oh, Williams inside to Jamison. And Jamison coming alive a bit. 6 assists from Mo Williams. It's back up to 17. Just past the midway point, fourth quarter here in Cleveland. Cavs and Celtics meeting for the 3rd time this season. They've split the first 2, the road team winning both games. A close game throughout, but the Cavs dominating here in the 4th. Mo Williams' 3 won't go. Comes all the way out, right back to him. ABC World News Sunday, or your local news, will be coming up on most of these ABC stations, except on the West Coast. James, 3, short. Rondo foul by James. Perkins will return for Finley. James missed 2 games earlier this week with a sprained ankle. And returned on Friday in a victory against Philadelphia. He wanted to play. Not a bad idea for him to get rest. Got a good stretch because they only played a handful of games this week.
Not a bad idea at all. It's important to look to where you want to be when it's all said and done. And he's a guy that's going to be important for him to get his proper rest, get his body right.
Pierce hits the 3-pointer. That makes it 91-77. Key stat here this afternoon. Celtics are one of the better teams at forcing turnovers. Cleveland has just 6 the entire game. And just 1 turnover over the last 23 minutes. James. Garnett the rebound. Rondo looking to push. Ray Allen fires away. Hits a three. Just like that, it's back to 11. Mike Brown says timeout. So they've cut 6 points off what was a 17-point lead, and there's still 4:54 remaining. Ray Allen, one of the great shooters in NBA history. He's got 14. Celtics down 91-80. Special player here this afternoon doing it again, Mark.
Well, LeBron James, you talk about that power, the ability to use that body, and then finesse, splitting. And the tail of the tape. 6'8", 250, 6'1", 171, excuse me. Eliminates him out of the picture, and the teardrop, a thing of beauty. LeBron James continuing to be spectacular. Season numbers, and he's consistent this afternoon.
I'm saying the over-under on LeBron James' weight is not 250.
Draws the foul there.
That guy is huge. I'm saying I'm going to set the bar at 265.
Paul Pierce. His fourth personal. At the line with 2 shots. LeBron James.
And the quickness as James goes to the line. You know, I think Flip Saunders might have been the first one a couple of years ago who felt that James was the fastest player in the league. You don't realize until you see him in person just how fast he is at that size.
I would like to have seen LeBron James and Randy Smith in a race. But that's the only other guy I can remember even being close to that speed.
James to the basket. Banks it in. And the foul. Perkins. And James flexing with a chance for a three-point play. Perkins bumped into him. No effect.
That's like their third free throw rebound that they've given up today. And I'm disappointed in that foul by Kendrick Perkins if I'm the Celtics. Now, I love Kendrick Perkins, but you've got to put him down on that. Not dirty. You've got to foul as hard as he drives. He didn't even drive it hard. He just eased up at the end.
Well, if I'm the Celtics, I'm disappointed in a whole lot this afternoon.
Lead back up to 14. Largest has been 17. Still plenty of time. You just don't get the feeling the Celtics have the legs right now to come back. Pierce lost it. James picks it up. Allen bumps him. And I think it's going to be a clear path foul. It'll be free throw in the ball.
And here's why we said if you're LeBron James, you also hug Andy Varejao. You talk about two guys trying to double him because of his pursuit on a free throw rebound. So he allows an opening for a teammate, and LeBron James says, oops, look what I found. Able to get the basket and the foul because of Varejao's hustle and energy.
And a clear path is always a big call because it's 2 free throws and possession. Lead back up to 15. James, again, they had the quiet start scoring-wise. You look up now, he's got 25, plus 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 block shots, and a couple of steals. Well, Williams having a good game. 5 Cavs in double figures. Williams to James, poked away by Allen, right back to Williams. Stolen by Rondo. Rondo, Garnett, Pierce. Takes his time and knocks down the 3. And Pierce had that slow start. He was 0 for 5, but he's 5 for his last 7. And makes it back to 12. James. Pierce falls down, and Ray Allen shoved Jamison. Let's listen to one of the more recent huddles from Mike Brown.
That's a nice job rolling. You got to keep rolling. You're only big out there, okay? Nice job.
Antoine Jameson.
More free throws now for Cleveland. This will be the 42nd and 43rd free throw. Jameson continues to struggle. Now 2 of 7 from the line. And as Jeff mentioned earlier, since he's come over here from Cleveland, he's been awful from the line. Came into the game at 47% in his first 10. And obviously he's going to go down. Wow. Perkins and Varejao battling, arguing with Danny Crawford, who tells them to play. Ray Allen, reverse layup. Won't go. Good defense from James. And the Cavs in control here in the fourth quarter. Parker for 3. Jameson. He's a quick rebounder.
Well, I think the Cavs should make sure, try to get Shaquille O'Neal back in town to work on Jameson with his free throw shoot.
Parker tripped him up. As Pierce falls down. Cavs not in the penalty yet.
Where is O'Neal? Is he not here?
Rumor has it he's in Orlando, but how about the energy by Jameson? No box out, all by himself. You talk about gang rebounding, 5 guys in the paint for the Celtics, nobody there, and Jameson gets the easy putback.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, we actually don't need to go by rumor. I can tell you that Shaquille O'Neal is in Orlando. One of the Cavaliers trainers was with him for a couple of days. He still has the cast on his thumb, and he's expected to be back here in Cleveland sometime later this week.
Did he tweet you, Lisa?
He did not tweet me. He did not tweet me, no.
Okay.
That's what I like, though. Who needs TMZ when they have Lisa Salters? That's getting it done.
You can't throw Lisa Salters and TMZ into the same sentence.
That's a good point.
A renowned reporter. She's not stalking celebrities.
Perkins just shoves Varejao, and the frustrations for the Celtics showing a bit here in the fourth.
Although I have to say this, who watches their TV show? TMZ? I do.
JPG.
Yeah, no, I do. I watch it. Some of those kids, man, when they're smirking on that show, though, they drive me crazy.
And at the line with 2 shots. Anderson.
Varejao had that huge first half. He had 15 points. The first half. That's his first points of the second half, but he really set the tone early for the Cavaliers. And Mark, as you talked about with Kevin Garnett, the numbers don't tell the whole story when he's at his best. Numbers do not tell the story for Varejao and what impact he has.
Especially because as a coach, the worst thing you want to do is to have to be put in a position where you have to coach energy and effort. Mike Brown does not have to worry about that with Varejao. Understands what he is going to do and bring to the table every single time they step on the floor.
Just over 2.5 remaining here in the fourth. Cavs the first team this year to 50 wins. First team to clinch a playoff berth. Keep rolling along. Jameson lost it, picked up by Rondo. Ray Allen fires a 3, and that's good. Allen now with 20, and it's a 10-point game.
Ray Allen is so dangerous in transition. That was a great play by Rondo. Defensively getting his hands active and then searching out Ray Allen for the open 3.
James on the drive, and he gets hit. Celtics not letting him get to the rim, so he'll go back to the line. Mike Brown likes what he sees. Reminder, Boston sports fans, you can now get the latest news on the teams you care about the most. Power of ESPN now covering the Boston sports scene. Special sports center just for Boston on ESPNBoston.com. James, this will be his 14th and 15th free throw. He takes as many. He's tied with Dwight Howard for the most attempts per game. Second in the NBA in free throws made. Back up to 12 as we hit the 2-minute mark. James has had big games against the Celtics. Always plays well against them. Rondo lobs it into Garnett. And Garnett stripped by Jameson. Garnett gets it back, blocked from behind by Varejao. Garnett again can't get it to go, and a foul. This tough defense inside, making life difficult for Garnett. Third time's a charm. Jamison didn't like the call, but it looked like Varejao bumped him. The foul they called on Jamison, though, that's his fifth. And Garnett, hearing from the fans, he was kind of hyperventilating after that last play, yelling at the fans along the baseline. Doc Rivers said it, I mean, he said it a lot, but for them to have any chance to winning a title, he has to play at a higher level. And you hope if you're a Celtic fan that the knee continues to improve and he can get close to what he was the year they won the championship.
Well, I said that in the open, pretty much echoing what Doc Rivers talked about. But watching this Celtic team, I wouldn't just be concerned about Kevin Garnett if I was a Celtic fan or a Celtic coach or a Celtic player. They have problems across the board that they have to get resolved.
Cavs will take time off the clock with a minute and a half remaining. James crossover, lefty layup, and a foul. LeBron James dominating down the stretch. Now with 29. And Cavs back up by a dozen.
How about LeBron? May I have this dance, Mr. Perkins? Mama, there goes that man. Break down, excuse me, in traffic, using the opposite hand. My goodness.
He's hearing the MVP chants. Last year's MVP. Having another one. There you go, Mark.
I like this guy. I don't know him, but I like that guy.
And if I was the Cavaliers fans, I'd change that MVP chant to please stay chant, because this guy means everything to this team. Kendrick Perkins, that's a man out on an island. I feel sorry for him. Oh my.
James, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. You see his career numbers against the Celtics. Always seems to play well against Boston. And getting his season numbers right on the mark here this afternoon. Another tough afternoon for the Celtics against the elite teams. Here's to the basket. Lays it in. The game was tied with about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Celtics then had trouble scoring down the end of the third and to start the fourth, and this one was over. James once again against Rondo. Leans in, puts it up. And the Celtics fly home tonight. They'll play against the Pistons tomorrow night in Boston. That game on ESPN as Pierce misses. And a rebound, Jamario Moon. Cleveland Cavs will win their 52nd game of the year. They'll improve to 52-15, 29-4 here at home. And now 68-6 over the last 2 seasons at Quicken Loans Arena. This is one tough place to play. Led by number 23. James can't get it to go. Varejao, his 10th rebound. Superb performance by Andy Varejao as the Celtics lose for the second time this season to Cleveland and fall to 41-24 as they fight for their playoff positioning in the Eastern Conference. A sellout crowd watches the Cavs impress once again. They dominate the second half. And the fourth quarter. Tough afternoon for Kevin Garnett and the Celtics. LeBron James 38-7 plus 3 blocks. He's with Lisa.
Thanks, Mom. LeBron, you guys kept them from scoring. The first 5.5 minutes in the fourth quarter really was the difference in the game. What were you doing defensively then?
Just contesting every shot. When they went up to shoot the ball, we contested, we helped each other, and we cleaned it up with a defensive rebound.
You had 6 points in the first half, finished the game with 30. What changed for you?
Just started getting attack mode.
I was able to get to the free throw line a lot in the second half and open the game up for us.
I can see a little bit of a red mark on your right underneath your eye. What happened?
I just went to the hole and KG got the finger to the eye. Blurred my vision for a little bit. Got a little headache right now, but I'm fine.
And Jeff Van Gundy, he doesn't really believe that you're 250. So I'm going to ask you, how much do you really weigh? Tell Jeff. Just between you and Jeff.
I hear a lot of debate between Jeff and Mark every time I watch these games. So on this time, I'm going to let Jeff be right. I'm not saying I'm 250 pounds, but I'm going to let him get the upper edge, even though Mark's my guy.
All right. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
All right, Lisa. The NBA's best record improves as the Cavs beat the Celtics 104-93. For Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Lisa Salters, and our entire ABC crew, this is Mike Breen saying make sure to tune in Tuesday at 8 Central for an all-new episode of Lost, now accepted on the West Coast. Stay tuned for ABC World News or your local news over most of these ABC stations. Thanks for watching ABC, home of the NBA Finals.